Hey, it's Alicia here, and I wanted to film a video about neutrality and how that creates way more than duality, and duality really blocks you from receiving. And if you don't know what I mean by neutrality, I mean like being at peace and at ease with all things exactly as they are with no resistance to anything. And by duality, I mean, if you think things are right or wrong, good or bad, or things should have happened some way or shouldn't have happened a certain way or whatever, that's duality. That really does block you from receiving, and I wanted to explain why that is. Even if that thing is not like what you need to heal or aligned with you or really going to create the most for you, the fact that you're in resistance to it or you're in duality about it and you're not in neutrality about it means that you're in resistance, and when you're in resistance to anything, you're blocking yourself from receiving because you're not in your natural state where you allow things to come to you fluidly and effortlessly in whichever way they want to show up. So if you have, preconceived ideas about how things should or shouldn't happen, or you're not willing to receive things in a certain way, like let's use the example of medication. So if you're someone who's like all about doing things natural and you're really against like pharmaceuticals, well, the fact that you're in resistance to taking medication is blocking you from receiving because now you're not in neutrality, you're not allowing things to come in whichever way they want to, even if that isn't the medication. So if you can come into a state of neutrality with that medication, then that can invite in way more, and that can also change the energy of the action that you're taking, of taking the medication. So, yes, I do believe that medications are a way to suppress your symptoms, and your symptoms are your body's way of communicating with you. They're coming up for a reason, not just to be suppressed. But, some people are not aware that your body can heal itself and they don't even know how to access that. And maybe the only thing showing up for them right now is a medication. But they're in resistance to taking medication or pharmaceuticals or whatever. So what I would invite you to do if you're in that kind of situation is to come into neutrality with the medication and just completely surrender and choose resilience and say, you know what, this is the only thing that's showing up for me right now that I'm aware of, that I know how to heal. So I'm just going to take this to love and nurture my body because it's all that I'm aware of right now, and it's what's showing up for me. So I just completely surrender, because that's what neutrality is. Just surrender, be at peace with all things, be anxious for nothing. You have infinite power within yourself. Your body can heal itself. Your body's natural state, fights off viruses, heals itself. Like, you're all good. You don't need to worry. Another great example is with money. So I don't know if you're like me, but I've always kind of been like, I don't want to touch my savings. I won't use this money for this or like whatever. Instead of being willing to receive all things in grace and ease, whatever's showing up for me, that it's all the same, instead of being in restriction to the way that I'm receiving. What if right now, I want to make a big purchase and that requires touching my savings and money is not showing up in another way and this thing feels really fluid and expansive? Instead of being in resistance to like, no way am I going to touch my savings, be open to receiving the way that the universe is providing for me, that I am abundant and that I have the money to make this purchase, and be willing to receive however it wants to come into your life. Another great example could be if you have your own business and you want money to come in through your business because you just want to be successful in this. And so you could be restricting yourself from receiving money in a different way. It could be that this business that you're working on is not what you're meant to do for a living, and the fact that you're putting, all this energy and focus into this and saying, I really want money to come in through this channel, it is blocking and resisting money from coming in whichever way it wants to, which maybe isn't through your business, maybe that's not what you're meant to do, and you're meant to receive fluidly and effortlessly. So, if you can release the idea too that you have to be working hard in order to receive, just let it come in the way that it wants to come in. So that's what I wanted to film a video on, that when you're in a state of neutrality at peace and at ease with all things, surrender to what is, trust that you're fully resourced, then things can come to you whichever way that they want to. But if you're in duality where you think things are right or wrong, like it's wrong to touch your savings, or medication is wrong, or whatever, you are blocking yourself from receiving, even if that's not the thing that's going to help you heal, the medication. Maybe you're meant to receive money a different way than touching your savings. Even if you don't even need to do it the way that you're in resistance to, the fact that you're in resistance means you are blocking your expansion and growth, and blocking your natural state where you receive things fluidly and effortlessly. So I would invite you to come into a state of neutrality with all things and just say, I'm willing to receive all things in grace and ease, and I'm willing to surrender to this and whatever is showing up for me right now in whichever way it wants to show up for me. And then you will receive way more than being in resistance and restricted and contracted and shut down to the infinite possibilities that are available to you that want to come in, in ways that maybe you couldn't have even imagined. So I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, give it a thumbs up, hit subscribe, and hit the bell button if you want to be notified the next time I upload a video. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.